as soon as the first responders got my phone and started calling my mom, I heard my mom's voice. And I don't know why, but right then it all started hitting me. The pain is just, it was immense pain right away.
Could I have the parties announced for the record, please?
Your Honor, Mark Braswell for the defense. I would first like to call Tom Landreth, who is a character witness, and he'll be brief. Okay, sir, where do you currently live?
I live in San Antonio.
Okay, and how would you describe Mr. Fernandez?
Easygoing, kind of laid back. Just a regular, well-rounded type person.
Have you ever known him to break the law?
No.
Have you ever known him, sir, to race or drive recklessly?
No.
Do you believe he is an honest man?
Yes.
Do you think that he is a man who will do what he says?
Yes.
Are you asking the court today to give Victor deferred adjudication?
Yes.
And if he's given deferred adjudication today by the court, do you think he would be successful?
Yes.
Okay. Do you and him both own shares in a company named AviMech International Aviation, Inc.?
Yes.
Okay. And is that something that you and him and others plan on pursuing in the future?
Yes.
Thank you. Your Honor, Victor Fernandez is a 60-year-old man. He's father of 5 kids. He enlisted in the Marine Corps at the age of 17, served 8 years, was promoted to the rank of sergeant, and he was responsible for 8 different aviation maintenance shops at Camp Pendleton. He was promoted to inspector and released aircraft to go fly. He was awarded the Marine Corps Reserve Medal and the Good Conduct Medal. When he left the Marine Corps, he became a civil servant, and he worked in aviation at the Naval Air Station Alameda in California. And Mr. Fernandez has over 40 years of experience in the aviation industry. He's maintained steady employment with Boeing in San Antonio as a quality assurance inspector. And for 36 years, he has had an A&P license, and A&P stands for airframes and power plants. And so he has no criminal history in the last 34 years. He has no history of racing, no history of driving recklessly. In fact, Judge, he was actually a Lyft driver. And working for Lyft, he was awarded a windbreaker with the Lyft logo and a 1,000 customers patch on his left sleeve because of his driving. He also earned a 5-star rating as a Lyft driver because of his satisfied customers repeatedly. Now, Judge, my client is fully responsible and accepts full responsibility for his actions. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of his business endeavors because, Judge, it goes directly to the restitution. This is a case where my client and another man were both charged with racing, and he sped through an intersection, ran a red light, and hit another car, causing basically 5 different people to suffer physical injuries. One of them, Miss Amber Skripka, was nearly killed. She has had 15 surgeries, Judge, almost lost her arm. She still has at least 1 surgery left to go, and her medical bills are over $900,000. Her insurance company has paid over $238,000. And so when we talk about restitution in this case, Judge, it is a 7-figure issue. Okay. Some of the other victims did not respond to the DA's office repeated requests for information on restitution, but Ms. Skripka did, and my client wants to do everything in his power to make her whole. And he is part owner of a company named AviMech International Aircraft, Inc., and he owns 300,000 shares in that company. And it is a company that has permission from the Federal Aviation Administration to build 3 different models of aircraft in the United States, France, and Brazil. And it is a environmentally responsible aircraft. So it's actually part of, green energy. And they just received a contract with the United States Air Force to start building these helicopters that basically run on peroxide. And so the company is expected to go public. And when it does, my client will become an instant millionaire. I have seen the contract I've seen evidence of that, and I'm happy to share that with the court. May I share my screen, Judge?
With regards to that, the court will accept the defense counsel's word that the defendant is going to perhaps become a multimillionaire.
Yeah. And so, Judge, we only say that because unfortunately, Ms. Skripka was not only physically injured, she has suffered. First off, I don't know if words can describe it, but her car basically flipped, and she has tons and tons of medical bills, and she's suffered substantially. My client wants to be able to make her whole, and we really believe that there's an opportunity here for him to actually do that. And that's an important part of this case, Judge. And so with the mitigation package, I can just tell the court my client has numerous certificates of training, awards in the aviation industry, certificates of appreciation for teaching classes, certificates of achievement, and so on and so on. And so he is a productive member of society, Judge, with no history of racing or driving recklessly. In fact, all the evidence points in the opposite direction. But none of that matters in the sense that he did run he ran a red light, Judge, and was speeding through that intersection and caused serious injuries. And so we're asking the court to give him deferred adjudication today, and he accepts full responsibility for his decision.
All right, Mr. Going to deny your application. The court is going to find you guilty, and the court is going to sentence you to 5 years in prison. Take in consideration 2019 CR 8155B. There's to be restitution to Amber Skripka, SKRIPK, and there's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. And
Your
you'll
Honor,
receive.
may I comment? The victim, Amber Skripka, made a victim impact statement, Judge. She asked for the longest term of probation possible.
I read it, and what she said is she wanted the longest term of probation possible if he was not going to be sentenced to jail. Is there something that the court is unaware of, some kind of agreement that was reached?
Your Honor, the agreement was that the court would decide, and it was a.
All right, we're going to take a short
Remain
recess. Mr. Braswell, if I could see you in breakout room number 2.
Okay.
And Mr. Nesbitt, if I could see you in breakout room number 2, please. Everyone, just give me a moment. And then Brenda, we're going to take the lunch break. I understand you need on the record in 2019 CR 8157A. Could I have parties announced for the record, please?
Tom Nisbet for the state.
Your Honor, Mark Braswell for the defense with my client, Victor Fernandez, who is in person in court.
All right, the court had made its ruling before the break, and both parties asked that I hear new evidence. And there was a request for me to withdraw or give a new trial as it relates to sentencing, and the court agreed to do that and ordered that. So there's new information. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge. And with the court's leave, and obviously I have defense's permission to just make a small proffer, despite this being a silent plea. It is the position of the parties and our proffer to the court that Ms. Skripka would like the court to give the defendant a maximum supervision term on deferred adjudication to accommodate his aviation licensure, as well as the opportunity to pay back the restitution to Miss Amber Skripka and her family for everything that they've lost through this exchange. And so she expressed her gratitude to the court for reading her letter, for taking it so sternly, and for reacting the way the court did. And she would just like to maybe soften our position as the state just a little bit in making that request to the court.
All right, defense.
Your Honor, we have no objections to that recommendation.
All right, Mr. Fernandez.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if you're tested today for drugs, what are the results going to be?
Negative, Your Honor.
This is what the court is going to do. Mr. Fernandez, the court was strongly and wanted and thought that this case deserved a prison sentence. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
One of the main reasons why you're not going to prison is because the complainant in this case, Amber Skripka, has shown you mercy by asking the court to give you deferred adjudication. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you really need to remember that. You are too old to be racing. You understand?
Yes, Your
This is
Honor.
what the court is going to do. 10 years deferred adjudication. There is to be restitution to Amber Skripka in two amounts, $10,185.88 and $238,538.15. With regards to the restitution, if something happens through insurance or with attorneys on the civil side, the court can always revisit that because no one's going to get paid double. There's to be regular Zoom reporting or in-person reporting if you don't have access to Zoom. There's to be random UAs, or you can do a patch. There's to be proof of employment within 15 days. And Mr. Fernandez, there's to be no drinking of alcohol while you're on probation, even at your own home. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I hope you realize that a number of people could be dead right now because of your actions. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor. I do.
Rebecca, is there anything else that Mr. Fernandez needs to be successful?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Fernandez, I'm going to ask you what I asked everyone that is placed on probation in this court. Is there anything else that you need in order to be successful on this probation?
No, Your Honor. I will be successful.
All right, with that, we will close the record. State, is there any victim impact?
Yes, Judge, there is.
And who would that be?
Amber is going to make a statement.
Dear Mr. Fernandez, my family and I have been through inexplicable pain due to your actions. I honestly don't even know where to begin. I imagine the best way to begin is from the very beginning. It was April 25th, 2018. I was due to be at work for my usual shift at the University of Texas at San Antonio. Department of Public Safety for my usual shift at 8 a.m. I was almost to work when the incident occurred. It happened out of nowhere. I never even saw it coming. One moment I was in my car listening to my radio. I apologize. And in the next instance, I remember just closing my eyes and hearing a very loud sound. And I was squeezing my eyes so tight. It felt like I was spinning around in a Ferris wheel that was going super fast. I just remember hearing so much scream. As soon as my vehicle stopped spinning, I opened my eyes and I just remember everyone about me screaming. I remember knowing that I must have been involved in some sort of accident, but I had no idea how bad it was or what had actually happened. I heard everyone screaming at the intersection, and while I was still trying to figure out what had actually happened, I remember a male walking up to my window in the vehicle to ask if I was okay. As soon as he looked into my vehicle, he screamed out to the crowd that we need EMS. He looked down at my arm, and when he looked down at my arm when he was saying that, so I looked down, and that's the first time I noticed that something was wrong. I saw blood everywhere. And I remember seeing some yellow, what looked like to be fat coming out of my wrist area. I immediately went into a panic and I started to have an immense fear for some reason that someone was gonna try to hit me again from behind. So I tried to get out of the car. I remember the male that came to help me was telling me to stay still as possible and to not move. But I couldn't. I had to get out of the car. So I unbuckled. I opened the door and I got out of the vehicle. I remember as soon as I got out, I turned around and I saw the ambulance, thank God, was already pulling up to the scene. I remember holding my ring finger and my pinky finger in my hand and trying to squeeze it to see if I could feel it. And for a brief second, I was relieved to know that I still had feeling in my hand. At that point, I still hadn't had any pain. I was still in shock. The EMS responders immediately got me into the back of the ambulance and started taking my vitals and doing what they needed to do to keep me as safe as possible. I remember there was a super sweet lady that was standing with the ambulance doors were open and she was standing looking at me, asking me if I needed anything for my vehicle. I said no at first, but she was like, do you want your phone? And I was like, oh my God, yes, I have to tell my mother what has happened. So she went to the car to try to get my phone for me. And I know as soon as the first responders got my phone and started calling my mom, I heard my mom's voice. And I don't know why, but right then it all started hitting me. The pain it was immense pain right away. And I remember just screaming to the poor first responders, like, I need pain medicine. I need pain medicine. And the next thing I remember, like, I must have passed out because the next thing I remember, I was at the hospital ready and everybody was standing around me taking pictures of me. And my mom was already on the phone by my bedside. And to the right of me, there was a lot of detectives from my work. They were already there because I was working for the police department at the time. So they had heard what had happened. And they actually, after talking to them afterwards, one of the dispatchers, they had got the call from SAPD that it was a fatality accident. And when they ran my license plate, they knew it was me and everybody thought I had died. So I remember talking to them afterwards and they were so happy that when they got to the hospital, they knew that I was actually alive and they were in super shock that I was still alive. So after I woke up at the hospital, I remember the nurse cutting off my pants and taking a lot of pictures. And then I must have gotten wheeled into surgery because the next thing I remember, I was in the hospital room in the ICU and all my family was there. And they started telling me exactly what had happened and where I was. And a detective was there to explain to me what they thought had happened. As a result of this incident, I had 15 surgeries on my arm, and I still need at least one more. And I have a follow-up next month on the 20th to see when I can get that done. The first major surgery was the first day I was there at the hospital. They had to put my veins and arteries back together to try and keep the blood flowing to my hand so I wouldn't lose it. And they took out all the skin that was dying or dead. They also set my bone, or what was left of it, they set it in one place with metal screws and plates. I didn't even know until about a year after my incident. When I was at the hospital for a follow-up, one of the doctors had told me that they got the call to come in that day and amputate my arm. I'm so grateful. Even though I was in a very unlucky situation, I was so blessed that Dr. Colmack and Dr. Carrier were there at the hospital that day because they saw how young I was and they didn't think it was going to work, but they tried to do an experimental procedure and it ended up working. And That's why I have my arm today, because they took the extra time and effort to try this procedure on me.
Ms. Script,
Yes.
just slow down a little bit.
Okay.
But I want you to know that the court understands your pain, and the court reviewed your victim impact letter. And I know that that letter has been shared by defense to Mr. Fernandez.
Okay. I didn't know they had read the whole thing already.
No, they read the whole thing. I make sure that
Okay.
the state, the defense, and I also make sure that the defense have their client read the entire victim impact and the entire PSI report with their client. So Mr. Fernandez has, I assure you, been given that by his attorney to read.
Yes.
But
Okay.
I appreciate you so much for coming in.
Yeah, I appreciate it. If I could I just wanted to add a couple things that weren't in my initial letter that y'all read.
Sure.
I just wanted y'all to see that I forgot to put it in my letter, but everyone at my work was so supportive of me. And it's because of them and my family that I'm actually here with y'all today, because I feel like mentally it was so taxing on me. And I remember when I first got back to work after being out for almost a month and a half, everybody at work had, I don't know if you can see it, but they made up these little Amber Strong bracelets for me. And everybody at work was wearing them, and they were trying to raise some money to help me pay for my bills. It was just so sweet. And also, I know y'all, I did send pictures, but this is updated after all the surgeries. My next surgery is going to be to try to fix this, like the unevenness of it, and to try to even out some of the stiffness in my wrist. But I mean, this is going to forever be my arm. So I just wanted y'all to see it as it is right now, 3 years later. And I do have a lot more victims impact statement, but if y'all have already read it, I don't want to tie up the court's time anymore.
Well, Ms. Scripta, let me just tell you, you never tie up the court's time. And I just want to let you know that everyone here is very sympathetic and empathetic to what you've been through. And I appreciate your coming in to tell us your story and what happened, okay?
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Mr. Fernandez will, as I said, be supervised by the court. So we're going to make sure that he's doing everything that he's supposed to be doing. He's been given a chance, Ms. Skripka, based upon your mercy upon him, okay? All right.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello, how are you doing this morning?
Great, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Fernandez, we have an issue.
Yes,
And the issue is that restitution is owed.
yes.
And your restitution is $248,000.
Yes, Your Honor.
So,
I have stock or shares in this company. They're helicopters that run off hydrogen. And the company is brand new, and I purchased 300,000 shares. So if it even goes public at $1, I'll have $300,000. But they're estimating it at between $15 and $20 when it goes public. And that's the main thing I'm waiting on.
I understand you're waiting on certain things, but certain things may never happen. So,
Okay.
how much are you making? Because I see that you're part-time.
Yes, I make between 1,500. Well, some months 1,500.
All right. So here's the thing: you're going to have to start paying more money than what you're paying towards restitution.
Okay.
I mean, you know, people always wait for money in. At least if you say you're waiting for income tax, we know there's a certain date when that may be in. But waiting for a company to go public and then selling your shares and see who's buying your shares, that may never happen. So what you're going to have to do is you are going to have to get a full-time job. And if that is 2 part-times to make it a full-time, great. If this part-time job is supporting your basic needs, then when you get that second part-time job, all of that money should go towards restitution.
Yes, Your Honor.
I understand the plight that people have in regards to money, but guess what? The person who's owed the money, who's a victim, they have a plight too.
Yes.
They now have over 200,000 in debt because of you. So you're going to have to get another job and you're going to have to start paying towards that. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, we're going to come back on May 16th.
Yes, Your Honor.
And before that date, you need to have proof that you have employment, a second job, or either a full-time employment. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, everyone wants their restitution back.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so with you, there's an issue with regards to restitution.
Yes,
So where are we on the restitution?
I'm working full-time with this company now. And my last check, I have a copy of it, is $1,050. And I can put like $400 to $500 a week
Mhm.
instead of what I was doing, $100 a month. I was only working part-time.
Okay,
And I'm still looking for a second job, a night job.
okay, so when you say you can pay $500 a month,
$400 to $500 a week,
a week,
So it's getting closer to the total that they wanted.
all right. Probation, he's saying that he can start paying $400 a week towards restitution.
Mhm.
So the money that he's turning in, if we can make sure that restitution is paid first, and he said he's able to pay $400 a week.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Fernandez, if something ends up happening, I don't know, you lose your job or they end up closing up shop, don't just disappear on us.
No,
You need to
contact my
let-
parole.
You need to let probation know
Oh, parole.
if there's an issue about you paying the $400 a week.
Okay,
All right, so she's gonna give you some documents to sign
all right.
saying that you're gonna be paying $400 a week.
Yes,
All right, so if you'll just remain in the courtroom, she'll take care of that.
thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for working on that.
Yes, Your Honor.
So where are we on this payment plan?
He's currently paying, he's ordered to pay 1,600, and we're just asking for a reduction of the monthly amount to $800 for now. He will still pay off the full amount, but Judge, right now, he's working only with the income of a handyman, which is from $2,000 a month to a max of about $2,800 a month. And so, and that he's working full time. And on the weekends, he's working with his helicopter company, which is not providing any income now, but we believe in good faith that he's gonna be able to pay that lump sum amount way before the end of the 10-year deferred adjudication period, Judge.
Okay. All right, I will tell you, in my notes, I had that he was supposed to pay $400 per week. So now we're down to, you say 800 per month?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Judge. Maybe excuse.
Yes, your excuse. All right, so we have an issue. And it's with regards to the paying of restitution. So you're supposed to be making a minimum of $800 per month payment, and you have not been doing that.
I've been making like $200, $300. Yes.
Yeah, you're supposed to be, I mean, I know that's what you've been making,
Yes.
but you're supposed to be making $800 payments.
I'm having hardship, a financial hardship.
What is the financial hardship?
I went on Social Security. I'm 64. I'm gonna be 65 in July.
Mhm.
They reduced my Social Security by $1,000 for a case in California that I need to go to California to close. Because I contacted them in 2021. They said all I had to do is go to California and they'll close the case. They say that I owe $117,000. They attached that case to Texas SSI. They're gonna take in $1,000. I have paperwork for it.
All right, so here's the thing.
Mhm.
This person is owed $248,000. They want their money. And I understand that people have hardship thing that's going on, but they want their money.
They're
It's like
entitled to
there's
their
like
money.
4 different things that happen.
No, I understand, but you're gonna have to figure out a way.
Yes.
The minimum payments is supposed to be $800. And the complainant is saying that they've been receiving payments sporadically. It's not consistent. So
I paid 17,000.
17,000 of $248,000. And I am sure that this person's life will never be the same again because of the nature of these charges. So
I'm
she
still
wants to be
waiting for the
paid.
Company to go
Mhm.
start the manufacturing. They moved back to Tucson, Arizona. They have new investors and the company's supposed to start manufacturing. And once they go public with the stocks, then I'll receive the cash.
When is this going to be done?
We think in about 2 months, Judge, and the company's name is Avimech, Avimech. They build helicopters. He is a shareholder in the company, he and his
I'm on the
partner.
board of directors.
So what they've been trying to do is take the company public. They had an investor, that investor got audited, so that kind of slowed down the
Yeah,
process. So they
messed
now
up
have a
everything.
new investor and they should go public. They moved the company physically from San Antonio to Tucson. And we believe about 2 months, Judge.
For the start manufacturing.
All right, this is coming back on June 26th, and you had better make some payments.
Yes.
Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, this case is coming back on June 26th. Vashawn, this case is coming back on June 26th to see where he is on making payments.
Maybe excuse, Your Honor.
Yes,
Thank you, Your Honor.
you're welcome. All right, who is here on Victor Fernandez? All right, so where are we on this case?
Judge, he is in compliance. He's been paying his $800 a month.
Okay,
He gets paid tomorrow and we'll pay his next $800 a month. I think the last time we were here, we had asked to reduce it to $500, but he's been paying $800.
okay. All right, Ms. Abrams. All right, I'm being told that he is been paying his $800 a month. This is Mr. Fernandez. It is 2019 CR 8157A.
It appears, Judge, that is April and May, he made $800 payment.
All right, and so you're due for June. All right. Let's recall this then for November to make sure that he's still on track. Ms. Ferguson, what date in November?
I can do the 17th, November 17th.
November 17th?
You want him to pay the $500 or the $800?
Well, he had agreed that he would pay the 500, but if he can pay 800, great. The sooner you pay it off, the sooner you will be done.
Thank you, Judge.
Let me see. Just 1 second on that date. All right, that's a good date. All right. And you say November when, Norma, 17th? All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for dressing appropriately for court. You always do, though. I appreciate that. Hello. Hi.
Hi, Judge. This is a compliance hearing. It's not really a compliance hearing. The last time Mr. Fernandez was in court, there was a mandate that he pay $800 a month towards his restitution.
Mhm.
You set this hearing to ensure that he's been paying it
Mhm.
and to see if there's been any other compliance issues.
Okay.
So Mr. Fernandez has been making regular payments of the $800 a month. There has not been any compliance issues. Mr. Fernandez did indicate to me that he had a heart attack on the 24th of last month,
Mhm.
which has placed him, his health in disarray and,
For a short time, till they get my medication.
Okay.
and with his health issues happening the way that they're happening, he's not able to work as he has before.
Yeah.
And he's asking the court if we can take if you can take some type of consideration and lower his payments to $500 for a short period.
Okay. And what time frame are you all wanting these payments? to?
Judge, I would ask for 6 months if possible. And then after the 6 months, back to the 800.
Okay, we can do that.
Thank you, Judge. Do you have any other concerns that you want to talk to the judge about?
No, thanks.
All right. Well, I hope they get your medication correct.
Yeah, because my blood pressure went up to 230
Oh,
and
that's
I had a heart attack.
okay.
Now it's like 170, but they keep switching the medications. Taking 6 different pills.
Okay.
We're trying to get it right.
All right. Well, make sure you take care of your health, okay? All right. And thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank you.